Well, good afternoon. I'm all wet. Just had to dive into the van after it started raining over here. We'll give it a minute and see who shows up. We've had heavy rain and hail come down in the last couple of minutes, and it doesn't look like it's going away. So the rest of the afternoon has been cleared.
Turn left onto Sarmonger Street.
But anyway, I wanted to go over the call that I had mentioned earlier this afternoon, and what was going on and what we found.
In 800 feet, turn left onto Vintage Grove Lane.
So we'd had a call for a second opinion on a package unit, gas AC split pack.
Turn left onto Vintage Grove Lane.
And two other contractors had been out. One is a national company, one that Cape Fear's been stealing customers from for the past few months, past year.
In a quarter mile,
And
turn left
the other
onto
guy was in an unmarked truck, from what I understand. But anyway, I walk into the house, introduce myself to the customer, and she says, well, I don't think you really have to look at the system, because the other two guys have told me the exact same thing. I said, okay? What'd they tell you?
Turn left onto Satinwood Drive, then turn left onto Center Street.
She said the other two contractors said that the control circuit transformer was dead, and there are holes in the evaporator and holes in the condenser coil. I said, okay. Well, let me take a look. I'll get some numbers off the unit and we'll see what's going on. So I get out there. It's a 2.5 ton York,
Onto Center Street.
and the transformer's definitely dead. But standing pressure on the system would not indicate that there's been leakage in the refrigerant circuit. And without running the system, you know, you can't dictate whether or not there has been a leak.
In half a mile, turn left onto North.
If standing pressures are up around the right place. I'm going to turn you off, dear. You're annoying me. So I said, let me throw a transformer in it so that I can test the system and see what the refrigerant charge looks like. Put a transformer in it, and I've started stocking only transformers that have the resettable fuses on them, just for the fact that you already have a fuse built in. Maybe they're a couple dollars more than a standard transformer, but they save the headache of adding an inline fuse or whatever. So I throw the transformer on, wire it in, put power to it, and it trips. I said, okay. Disconnect the low voltage wiring, reset the fuse, it trips again. Disconnect the wiring going to the contactor, reset the fuse, and it doesn't trip. So I throw a contactor in it and fire the system up. It's running for a few minutes, and I'm getting temperatures and pressures in line with where I should be. The only thing I'm seeing is an excessive cooling of the system, and my manifold is calculating low airflow. And as the system runs, the superheat starts going down. Superheat ended up around 5 or 6 with a target of 10 or 11. So not way off, but excessive temperature split and low superheat definitely leads towards inadequate ducting. Stick my head up under the crawl space and we've got 14-inch duct on return and supply for a 2.5 ton system. So I talked to the customer and I said, you know, if my refrigerant charge was low and you were looking at a few $100s in electrical components, I would say, yeah, let's go ahead and look towards the option of replacing. But there's nothing wrong with the refrigerant charge other than what is being caused by the ducting, and electrical components don't really dictate a system replacement until you're, you know, a lot higher than a couple of $100s. So we discussed the options and they opted to go ahead and leave the transformer and the contactor in there and let the system run and see what they get out of it. And at that point, you know, if something goes wrong this winter or later on this summer, we'll revisit the option of replacing the system. But at this point, to me, it doesn't make any sense to push the sale. And that's where the title of the video comes from. You know, I went through the system with the leak detector and couldn't find any leaks. But both of the other contractors said, yes, you've got holes in the evaporator and holes in the condenser, which was simply untrue. And, you know, a few $100s now runs a much better chance of getting the sale when the system finally dies than if I were to, you know, lie to them and tell them that, yeah, it's leaking refrigerant and system's about ready to die. So I think we gained a customer that'll be coming back when it is time to replace the system. I just don't see the need to push a system replacement over a couple $100s worth of electrical components that are expected to fail eventually on a system that's 13 years old. Mr. Juan Valdivinos, whatever your name is, Juan MV. How's it going? So I'm headed home. We've got rain the rest of the evening, and spend some time with the wife, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, share. Find me on Facebook at HVAC with Stephen Reardon. Here eventually I'm going to stop taking friend requests on my personal Facebook page, especially if they're HVAC related. So if you haven't got on my Facebook group, get over there. I'm going to boot you off of my personal Facebook eventually. Anyway, you guys have a good evening. Stay safe out there. Those of you that are on call, be careful. Don't stick your hand in any fan blades. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.